Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So, oh well that's not very convenient, is it? Not very convenient at all. Today's video is all gonna be, it's all going to all be about Zwift, a normal person's guide. If I refer to Zwift as Zwift, I have an inability to say Zwift without putting a stupid accent on. He goes, is it right? Me and my best friend do it all the time, and that's what the voice is from. So Zwift is from, is it right? But I'll try my best. If you don't know what the Zwift is, like my mum and my family, whenever I say I'm going on Zwift, they're like, you're going where? Sorry, what? Zwift is when you see people cycling inside, or they say like, oh, I'm going on the turbo. The turbo and Zwift kind of go hand in hand. So when you're on the turbo, you can link to Zwift, which is like a computer software system or an app, and basically you can like ride certain circuits and you have like a little avatar. It's kind of like a game, but like a not fun game because it's normally quite painful. I don't profess to be a Strava I don't profess to be a Strava expert because I don't have Strava. I don't profess to be a Zwift expert. So it takes a little minute to load. Plays this awful music to start with, which I absolutely hate. Just let me turn that off. A trick that I do is I turn off my Bluetooth on my phone whenever I'm going on Zwift on my laptop, just because sometimes the Bluetooth interaction is a little bit slow. So connected, and then the controllable is kind of the main one you actually need to connect. So that's connected. You're going to come into the main screen. So up here would be all your events that are coming up, all your future meetups. And then you've got your routes up here. So if you wanted to do cobbled climbs for 9.2k, you would click on that and it would open up the route. I don't tend to just do world routes. I normally have some sort of training in there. So there's two options for your training. Firstly, you can click on training and you can go on one of the workouts on here, or usually at the top, I have already worked out today, but usually at the top there would be my Training Peaks personalised workouts. So if I clicked on that and opened it up, it would just take me to whatever world and I would just do the workout on the screen. Another option to do that is you can go back, and if, say for example, you were adamant that you wanted to ride Dust in the Wind, you could ride that. So you would just click ride. So you would come into the route that you wanted to do, and you could go on menu there, and then you could go on workouts, and then you could choose a workout there. So again, at the top would be your Training Peaks personal workout, or you could do one of these that Zwift allow you to do. There's also Zwift Workouts. There's a website where there's lots of different training sessions on there as well, and you can choose whether you use erg mode or not, so whether you change gears yourself or you just let the device do all the work. So if you were to choose one of those, say for example we chose week 1, I don't know, that one, say workout, and then back, then it would all come up there, which would be pretty cool, and you would be riding this circuit. If you started riding and you, for example, wanted to stop or pause because maybe you'd hit a rainforest, you wanted to change bikes or something, the quickest way to pause your bike would be to come into the screen, so the menu, and then you would press on the pairing, and then you would go on here, and that would pause your bike, and then when you come out of that, that's when you can then go in your garage and choose like a different frame or different wheels. If you're still moving, you won't be able to do that, so pairing screen, then is garage. Equally, if you were riding and you lost connection, if you came into the pairing screen, unpaired and then paired again, that would make it kind of work again, hopefully. Garage is, again, you can choose kind of different things, so the more kind of point level you're on, the better bikes you get. I'm on a mountain there because I was in a rainforest yesterday, but this one is kind of normally my one of choice. All these people here, sometimes you'll see people talking, and they're talking via a companion app. So the Zwift companion app, that's how like everyone gives each other like thumbs up. I don't really give thumbs up, I'm a bitch. The companion app is really good if you want to see if there's any events on. So if you do want to do any Zwift racing, you just go on like the events page and then they're all there. If you are in a club, you might see on Zwift people like their name. So like mine would be like Kate Johnson TTH. That isn't because you're a bit of a show-off and you're like, I'm a member of a triathlon club. It's because that triathlon club might do group rides, and the person organising those group rides will invite everyone with TTH in their name. Your coach or whatever may ask you to set up Discord, which is another app And this app allows everybody to talk to each other when they're on Zwift. How exciting. Loads of icons that like pop up, like just like random ones. So like a van pops up and you're like, what? So one pop-up is a feather. And basically the feather reduces your weight by 10% for 15 seconds. The popular one to use is, it's like Aero Boost. Now everybody says it looks like a helmet. That does not look like a helmet. To me that looks like a horse. So when the horse pops up, that means you can use Aero Boost. It reduces your drag by 25% for 15 seconds. To activate it you would just press the space bar. When I saw the van I was thinking, am I going the same speed as a van? Because honey, I'm getting good. Boost your draft effect for 30 seconds by 50%. The main workouts I do on Zwift, you've got like your tempo effort, so that's at zone 3 level. Very technical. Zone 3, so it's like a half Ironman pace. Got sweet spots effort just under your FTP. It doesn't like fatigue you, like you don't need huge recovery from it because you're doing those efforts under your FTP. And then VO2 max is also a popular one that I do, so where you work at your lactate threshold. Another thing in Zwift is what you will have seen a lot of experts, you'll have seen a lot of experts do, no, you'll have seen a lot of pros do, is Zwift racing. I've linked an article below which Alan Ward, one of the coaches at TTH, he's he's written, he's not drafted. Oh my god, why am I so in work mode? Experts drafting. Anyone would think I was a lawyer. Woo. I did actually ask Instagram if they had any questions about Zwift, so I'm going to answer some questions because the interactive kind of gal that I am. So the first question was, best non-expensive compatible turbo. So mine is the Tax Vortex. I actually got it from Halfords like a year and a half ago or something, and I think it was like £250, which I think is pretty cheap, and it's the Bluetooth one and it's really good. I've never had a problem with it. It's never crashed on me or anything. You do have to keep a wheel on, so that's why I put the training wheel on, but I think it's really good. My Zwift name is Kate Johnson, brackets TTH, which is obviously that's who I'm coached with. I don't ride around with just like weird abbreviations like LLB behind my name. So if you want to invite me to any rides, I'll come along. How do you entertain yourself on long turbo? I'm actually a bit of a reality TV fiend, so the last few weeks I've been watching the Kags. So bad to even, I can't even believe I'm saying it, but Love Island USA, Love Island UK, or like anything on Netflix, like kind of docu-series that aren't that intense. I've been watching Afterlife recently, it's pretty funny. But yeah, don't really listen to music on Zwift, it gets a bit boring after like 2.5 hours. Erg mode on or erg mode off? Ooh, what a question. For me, I actually do most of my training sessions with erg mode on, unless we're doing like a cadence session where I can kind of work it myself and work through the gears. It does feel a bit limiting, but on the whole, I just opt for it because I'm lazy and I actually hate changing gears. And if you've ever ridden with me when we've not had a kind of training session loaded, then you will notice that I never actually change gears. Some snake asked me, they put, try to write a funny reply on your story. How do you win a sprint to line up a climb? And I carried this person all the way up a very long drag up a volcano, and this snake actually snaked me right at the top and went flying past me. If you're riding at like 4 watts per kilogram and then you see their number jump up to like 7, watch out for their numbers. Dan Ward, who's also got a great triathlon channel, who I'll link below, he said, why do his calves look better on Zwift? I've given myself a great tan on there, so that's not realistic. How do I fuel for long rides? Tailwind is great for when you're on the bike. I always use their products. Indoors are outdoors, so there's electrolytes on there. There's electrolytes on the packaging. There's electrolytes in the powder that you put in your water. So that's the kind of thing that that's kind of how I fuel them, like Serene bars. What setting for races for trainer difficulty compared to normal? I think is actually pretty misleading because it's actually more like the gradient feel. So if you've put it on 50%, like the gradient's going to feel like half of that, but you still need the same watts to get off it. I know that sounds really confusing, but I don't actually think it's like, I think people think like if you put it down to 50% then like, oh, you're breezing through, but that's not exactly how it works. How do you link smart device such as Garmin Edge and how to use the comp app if PC out of reach? If you go on Zwift, you can link your devices to other things, so you can link it to Training Peaks and your Garmin watch, like Garmin Connect. Why it froze on my 10k TT this morning, that's very annoying. It's not actually happened to me, but I've heard it happen a lot. Would you like to join in group rides Saturday mornings? Sure. People just asking like, Oh, one guy said, how racing is always the hardest workout you can do and not to be afraid of it. That is very true. If you want to do races, just go for it. These are literally just a selection of questions. If you've got any more questions, just drop me a message on Instagram. If I don't know the answer, then I can find somebody who knows the answer. There's loads of people like Tom Mazzone, I think that's how you say his surname. His cycling channel on YouTube, he's got like loads of great tips, so look out for him. At the minute, I'm waiting for my GoPro 9 to arrive, which I have had a nightmare with. So if you've been watching me on Instagram, you will know that there is now an UPS delivery driver just driving around the Netherlands, recording himself doing deliveries on my GoPro 9. Because I do really want to do a video about like my kind of training week, but I think the GoPro is going to be better for that. I'll also do one about like my deficit. So I'm in a deficit at the minute, so I want to show like what I eat on a weekday and what I might eat on the weekend, just to show that it's not like super restrictive, like you can still eat chocolate if you want to eat chocolate. And if you could like and subscribe to my channel, that would be perfect. See you soon.